Well, thank you. It's really a great pleasure to be here, to be back, and we're the culmination of Charlotte and Bob's incredible work, so that's an honor in and of itself. And I wanted to extend my thanks as well to Cece. I'm sorry she's not here, but she's been an inspiration in terms of astronomy and helping support some of the astronomy efforts we have on campus. And finally, of course, Lynn and Booth, you're just incredible. But people here know that, so I don't really have to say that. So since 2015, a few things have happened. I jotted down just a few, at Caltech at least. I'm more competent to talk about that. We discovered gravitational waves, awarded the Nobel Prize in 2017. We flew a helicopter on Mars, wow. And of course that's because Caltech founded and runs the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. We discovered the Green Comet. We're leading a new revolution in quantum mechanics, so you will see new devices all the way from medical to breaking bank codes, leading to quantum computers. We're figuring out how to sequester carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. We're learning how social media is changing people's minds, and you've probably noticed that one. And we're using sweat sensors to try to diagnose diseases. So just to give you a sense of the kind of activities that go on, Caltech is known very much for fundamental science, and it should be, and we do create knowledge for the ages, but we also try to translate that knowledge into interventions and technologies that make people's lives better. And I think that that part of the Caltech legacy is underappreciated, and I hope that what we're doing will impact your lives favorably as well. Tonight we'll look at the heavens, and this is a problem you'll hear about tonight that goes back a long time ago. I wanted to quote Wallace Campbell from 100 years ago. He is an astronomer who served as the director of the Lick Observatory. He's actually, for those of you familiar with his career, president of the University of California from 1923 to 1930. He said, "It is of priceless value to the human race to know that the sun will supply the needs of the earth as to light and heat for millions of years, that the stars are not lanterns hung out at night, but are suns like our own, and that numbers of them probably have planets revolving around them." I'll just note we've discovered thousands of those planets by now, actually an effort in part led by Caltech. "Perhaps in many cases with inhabitants adapted to the conditions existing there. In a sentence, the main purpose of the science is to learn the truth about the stellar universe, to increase human knowledge concerning our surroundings, and to widen the limits of intellectual life." And that's what you'll hear tonight from Constantine and Mike. But I should be fair, in the tradition of the media these days, and provide a contrasting viewpoint. And this contrasting viewpoint is from Thomas Hardy, not actually one of my favorite authors, in Two on a Tower. And he says, "If you are cheerful and wish to remain so, leave the study of astronomy alone." So we'll ignore Thomas Hardy tonight with your leave. So I don't really have big formal introductions for Mike Brown and Constantine Batygin because they're famous. So you can read about them in Wikipedia or wherever you would like. But I thought I could tell you a little bit of what you may not know. Mike is the man who killed Pluto. He's an observational astronomer. But as a consequence of discovering the profundity of our solar system and understanding why Pluto was actually not a proper planet, he and Constantine together proposed a new planet, Planet 9. And I understand, I'm looking at Diane, admitting this was in part because of his pleading from his daughter to make up for the crisis with Pluto. This is an extraordinary event because we've not found it yet, but we will. I'm fully confident. Neptune was discovered in 1846. So every 100, 200 years, we actually find new planets. And if we do, These are the people who brought it to you. Constantine, in great Caltech fashion, is a computational astrophysicist, a theorist, and the combination of somebody who looks at the heavens and models them is very powerful. He has an extraordinarily broad vision of what the field can be. He's also a very talented guitarist, rock guitarist, who has played with a number of classical orchestras as well. And they both run, or perform in, or whatever the term is, triathlons, which I think is a bonding experience, and I'm sure lots of science has done when they're competing in that fashion. Tonight, they will push the limits in telling you about their science, and they'll also make music to describe what's going on in the heavens. And without further ado, let me present Constantine Petikin.